In this video, I'm going to be going over the best live series collections to do in MLB The Show 22, which ones are the cheapest and which ones you should be going after first to start working your way towards collecting all 30 teams, live series players here in MLB The Show 22 Diamond Dynasty. As always, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're not already, and in the comment section, let me know, are you planning on completing the live series collection? If so, how long do you think or want it to take you? For me, I have a feeling it's probably going to take me about a month of consistently playing and grinding stubs, working the market, stuff like that. And just real quick, the live series collection, you get it for collecting every single live series card in the game. You get 99 Randy Johnson. For collecting every American League card, you get 99 Frank Thomas. Collecting every NL card, you get Roberto Clemente. And then for each division, they have certain cards that you get. For collecting the AL East, you get Mike Mussina. And you'll see that for each team, for the Orioles, for collecting their entire live series roster, that's players currently playing. For collecting them, you get Darren O'Day. And as you'll notice, if you go to that American League East, Darren O'Day is one of the 5 guys you need. So you need to collect all 5 American League East teams to collect that American League East division for Mike Mussina. And then he will be going towards the 3 divisions that you need for that 99 Frank Thomas. And then for getting both the AL and the NL, that is how you get this 99 Randy Johnson. Make sure you stay tuned for the end for a really nice tool for how many stubs collections cost and stuff like that. Now, just in general, for figuring out which collections to go after, I would recommend not even being on this tab. This tab can be helpful. It can be nice if you kind of want to sort by divisions and everything. But I always recommend going to your inventory. You can see here in the Collect tab in Diamond Dynasty, the My Inventory. And then you go to My MLB Players, and you can see the teams here. Now, what I would recommend starting out is working your way from the least expensive teams, and I'm going to go over the top 10 least expensive teams here in just a second, but I would just go through your binder. Maybe if you open some packs, kind of see where you're at, what teams you're close to. It says the number in the top left, how many players you have. But I would recommend just going through, and you can see the Orioles. They don't have any diamonds, so I would make them a priority. Get those teams out of the way in case Cedric Mullins goes off and gets upgraded. You wouldn't have to spend a ton of stubs on him. You get it for a little bit cheaper before the roster update might happen. So I would recommend going through and trying to find the teams that don't have any diamonds first. And then once you've done that, maybe move your way to a team like the Red Sox where they only have 1 diamond. It's on the lower end. You know, Chris Sale for a diamond, he's a little bit lower overall. He's maybe not as expensive as somebody like Garrett Cole or maybe Jacob deGrom or Mike Trout or Vlad Jr., Shohei Ohtani. You know, there's a lot of cards where the Blue Jays, they only have 2 diamonds, but one of them's 100,000 stubs. So they're probably not a good team to go after right away unless you maybe get lucky and pull Vlad Jr. And for this portion of the video, I'm going to go over the top 10 most affordable, least expensive collections here in MLB The Show 22, starting with the least expensive and then working our way up, second least, third least, all the way until the 10th least expensive team for the top 10 cheapest teams to complete their live series collection. First off, we have the Athletics. They don't even have any golds, at least at this point in time. Their collection is going to cost you about 4,600 stubs. And I want to make this clear right now, okay? The prices I'm getting are if you're doing buy orders for everybody. That's where the 4,600 comes from. So for Sean Manaea, you're going to be doing a buy order, for example, for 434. You can see that sell now price is 434. If someone wants to sell him, they would be selling him to me for 434 stubs. I know it might not seem like a big difference, but 200 stubs could add up. You know, there's 40 players on each team times 30, an extra 200-300 stubs per card. That's going to really add up over time, even just on one team. And where it's really going to add up for you too is, for example, the commons, right? Because you got somebody like Kirby right here, and I could just place a buy order for 16 stubs, or if I place one for 6 or 7, it would probably go through if I waited long enough. And that way, I'm saving myself about 80 stubs because I'm not spending the 98. And for one player, it might not seem like that much. But when you're buying every single live series card, okay, 40 times 30. That adds up, man. Every little bit is going to add up, and that's essentially how flipping works too. You know, I just got Sean Manaea for 434. I could go around and sell him for 637, and then after tax, it's going to get me 573. I've made 100 something stubs right there if I wanted to sell this card, but we're not talking about flipping. Let's go to the second cheapest team now. Second cheapest team, second least expensive team is going to be the Rockies at 5,600 stubs. They only have 1 gold. It's Chris Bryant. I'm expecting him to have like a breakout year. I wouldn't call it breakout, but to get upgraded, to not be this cheap for this long, because he's playing in Coors Field. He's probably going to hit pretty well and probably get an upgrade in one of the roster updates. Speaking of, I'm actually going to go ahead and buy Chris Bryant right now just so I don't forget about him and so I could hopefully get him while he's a little bit lower. The third cheapest team is going to be the Reds. They're going to be 7,100 stubs, only having one gold, but they got a lot of silvers and bronzes that are kind of bringing that price up a little bit. It's 7,100 stubs for the Reds. Now, staying in the National League Central, we got the Pirates. They only have one gold, and I'm pretty sure I read on Twitter, apparently they're thinking about trading Brian Reynolds, or teams are maybe interested in him. I don't know, but the fourth cheapest team is the Pirates, and they're going to cost you 7,300 stubs if you're creating those buy orders like I told you. Coming in at number 5, I was a little bit surprised, honestly. We got the Giants. They're going to cost you about 7,700 stubs, and I feel like the Giants are a better team than their collection might show. I feel like, you know, this would be a team that doesn't go above 500, not even close to it, and I feel like the Giants have a good chance to at least be 500, but I don't really know too much about baseball. I'm pretty stupid. At number 6, we have the Tigers, and they would not be at 8,100 stubs if it weren't for acquiring Javier Baez. If they didn't have Javier Baez, they would cost about 3,100 stubs, which is kind of crazy for me to think about, but the Tigers, number 6, at 8,100 stubs for their collection. At number 7, we have the Miami Marlins. A couple golds on their team going to cost you 8,500 stubs for the Miami Marlins. For number 8, we're going back to the National League Central, and we have the Cubs at 9,400 stubs. So in the top 10, there are 3 National League Central teams, which kind of makes me happy as a Cardinals fan because I feel like our division should not be super competitive besides the Brewers, but at the same time, the Cardinals didn't really do a whole lot in the offseason. I feel like they got some weak spots, especially when it comes to pitching. So even though it seems like based on their MLB The Show teams and rosters, the Cardinals should have a pretty good chance to compete with the Brewers in the division, I'm still a little bit scared about how that's going to pan out for the rest of the year, and at the end of the season, I'm interested to see how those standings look and what these teams actually look like at the end of the year too. At number 9, we're back to the Orioles. They're going to cost you about 12,700 stubs. Cedric Mullins, a big bulk of that. He's about half of the Orioles collection price. And then last but not least, the 10th cheapest team, the 10th least expensive team in MLB The Show 22 Diamond Dynasty is going to be the Mariners. Now, they do have a diamond, and he's going to be a little bit more than half of their collection, but he's not super expensive when it comes to a diamond. The Mariners are going to cost you about 13,300, and for those 10 cheapest, most affordable, least expensive teams, whatever you want to call them, for those 10 teams, it's going to cost you a total of 84,300 stubs, at least at the time of recording this video. Now, one thing that I want to make clear with collections in MLB The Show, because a lot of times, especially with new players, people aren't 100% sure. It asks you to lock players in, right? It says collect, and that costs you to lock them in whenever you're doing that. I don't think I have enough for them, but you collect the items, and this does not get rid of them. When you collect a player for any type of collection, when you are collecting them, that's a keyword, collecting, like we see here, that player does not leave your inventory. You still have them. So say you buy all of these players, you collect the entire Orioles for that Darren O'Day, you have this all filled out, every player highlighted because you have them, and you collect them. They stay in your binder. They stay in your inventory. What happens is, as you can see on this Austin Hayes card, they get a no sellable icon. So a lot of the players you're probably going to be buying on the market, once you collect those players, you're not able to sell them on the market. So I just really wanted to make that clear because every year I feel like I get a lot of questions about that. When you collect players, they do not leave your inventory. They just become non-sellable. A different word is exchange. When you exchange a player in MLB The Show, you're getting rid of him. He leaves your inventory. So be very careful when exchanging players, but just know that collecting players makes them non-sellable, but you still get to keep the card. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention is this very helpful website. It's helpful for a lot of things, as y'all can see on the sidebar, right? Flipping, collections, exchanges, conquest maps, card builders, a lot of stuff. It's very helpful. I'm going to link this collection tab down in the description in case anyone wants to check it out. That's where I got all my prices from. You can literally see the individual teams' prices as well as the division prices, the league prices, and the total price for the live series collection. So it's super helpful as they introduce more collections throughout the year. They update this with those collections having their own page that you can see the prices for. And this is just a super nice website. I'm not sponsored or anything. I wish I was, because I love this website. It's super useful for making stubs, getting stuff done in MLB The Show. I would highly recommend it. I'm linking it down in that description. I think that's pretty much all I have for this video. As always with my tutorials, if it helps at least one person, I feel happy. I feel like my goal has been accomplished. That's the whole point of me making tutorials, is just trying to help people out and try to give people information that they might not have had before, kind of try to steer them in that right direction. And overall, like I said, just trying to help people. So I hope this helped at least one person out there. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Peace out.